Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the Terra Nova, watching the stars through the large window in front of him. He had been awake for 3 days now, along with his crew of 200 humans. They had all been sleeping in special pods. For almost 100 years, while their ship traveled through space to reach this new star system, Jake rubbed his eyes and looked at the readings on his screen. The Kepler 442 system was supposed to be empty according to Earth's telescopes. But there was something here that should not be here. A massive space station floated in the darkness, bigger than anything humans had ever built. "Captain, we are getting a message from that station," said Lieutenant Maria Santos from her position at the communication desk. Her voice was calm, but Jake could hear the excitement underneath. This was humanity's first contact with alien life. "It through the speakers," Jake said. He straightened his uniform and tried to look professional. Every person on the bridge was staring at him. They all knew this moment would change everything for the human race. The message came through as strange clicking and whistling sounds. Then their computer started working, and the sounds became words they could understand. "Unknown vessel. This is Station Harmony of the Galactic Council. Please identify yourselves and state your purpose in this system." Jake took a deep breath. "This is Captain Jake Morrison of the human exploration ship Terra Nova. We come from the planet Earth in the Sol system. We are here to explore and learn about the galaxy." There was a long pause. Then the voice came back, sounding surprised. "Did you say Earth? From the Sol system? Please wait. We need to contact our officials." Lisa Park, the chief science officer, looked up from her instruments. "Captain, I am reading massive energy signatures from that station. Our technology is far beyond ours. We should be very careful." Jake nodded. He had been thinking the same thing. The Terra Nova was humanity's most advanced ship, but it was nothing compared to what he was seeing outside his window. The alien station was covered in lights and strange shapes that moved on their own. Ships that looked like living creatures flew in and out of docking bays. "Captain Morrison," the alien voice came back. "We are sending a delegation to meet with you. Please prepare to receive our ambassador." "We would be honored to meet with your ambassador," Jake replied. He turned to his crew. "Lisa, Ben, come with me to the main airlock. Maria, keep monitoring all communications. Everyone else, stay alert but friendly." The 3 humans walked through the ship's corridors to the main airlock. Ben Carter, the ship's security chief, was a big man with steady hands and a calm mind. Lisa was small and quick, always asking questions about everything she saw. Jake trusted both of them completely. They waited by the airlock as a strange ship approached their vessel. It was smooth and white like a pearl, and it moved without making any sound. When it connected to their ship, Jake felt nervous. This was the moment that would decide humanity's future in the galaxy. The airlock opened with a soft hiss. 3 aliens walked through, and Jake had to work hard not to stare. They were tall, much taller than humans, and their bodies looked like they were made of living crystal. Light seemed to move inside them, changing colors as they walked. The alien in front raised one of his forearms in what might have been a greeting. "I am Zethkri, ambassador of the Galactic Council. You're the beings from the world you call Earth?" "Yes," Jake said. "I am Captain Jake Morrison. These are my officers, Lisa Park and Ben Carter." "Welcome to our ship." Its crystal body flickered with different colors. "This is most unusual. The planet Earth has been classified as a death world for over 1,000 years. We assumed no intelligent life could exist there." "A death world?" Lisa asked. "What does that mean?" "A planet so hostile and dangerous that no civilized species could survive there," Zethkri explained. "Your world has poisonous gases in the air, deadly radiation from your star, massive storms, earthquakes, and creatures that kill each other constantly. How did you possibly evolve there?" Ben laughed. "That is just normal life on Earth. We have adapted to all of those things." The 3 aliens took several steps back. Their crystal bodies flashed with what looked like alarm. "You have adapted to poison gas? You mean oxygen?" Lisa said.
Yes.
"We need it to live." "Oxygen is one of the most dangerous elements in the galaxy," another alien said. "It destroys everything it touches." "How can you breathe it?" Jake was starting to understand that humans were very different from these aliens. we have been breathing. Oxygen for millions of years. It is not dangerous to us. Zethkri's colors changed again. What about your star's radiation? Our instruments show that your world receives deadly amounts of energy from your sun. We like sunlight, Ben said. It makes us feel good. We can be outside in it all day. All day. The third alien's voice was high and frightened. Direct stellar. Radiation would kill most species in minutes. Lisa pulled out a small device and showed it to the aliens. This is a medical scanner. Shows that Ben broke his arm when he was a child, but it healed completely. See, there is no permanent damage. Three aliens moved back again. Their crystal bodies were flashing red now. You survived a broken bone? That is impossible. Bone fractures are fatal injuries. Fatal. Ben held up his arm and bent it. It hurt for a few weeks, but then it was fine. Humans break bones all the time. When we are children, we heal. Zethkri was quiet for a long moment. His colors slowly changed from red to blue. This explains much. You are true Deathworlders. Your species has survived conditions that would destroy any civilized race. We do not consider ourselves destroyers, Jake said carefully. We are explorers. We want to learn about the galaxy and make friends with other species. Of course, Zethkri said, but his tone had changed. The Galactic Council has protocols for dealing with Deathworld species. We must offer you protection and guidance. What kind of protection? Lisa asked. We have a beautiful world called Haven 7. It has been specially prepared for dangerous species like yourselves. The atmosphere is filtered, the gravity is reduced, and there are no harmful life forms. You would be safe there. Jake felt something. Cold in his stomach. Are you saying we cannot travel freely in the galaxy? Oh no, that would be much too dangerous. Your Deathworld adaptations make you a threat to yourself and others. You would need extensive genetic modification to survive. In civilized space, the process takes several generations, but eventually your descendants would be able to join normal galactic society. Ben's face was getting red. Normal? What do you mean normal? Species that evolved on proper worlds. Safe worlds. Worlds where intelligence could develop without the constant threat of death. Zethkri's colors were a calm blue now. Do not worry. Many species have gone through this process. You will be much happier once you are properly adapted. Jake looked at his two officers. He could see the anger in their eyes. The aliens were treating humans like dangerous animals that needed to be caged and changed. Ambassador Zethkri, Jake said in his most polite voice, we appreciate your offer, but we must decline. Humanity prefers to make its own way in the galaxy. The crystal alien's colors flashed bright red again. You refuse protection? You wish to remain dangerous Deathworlders? We wish to remain human, Jake said firmly. Zethkri's body became very still. When he spoke again, his voice was cold. This is most unwise, Captain Morrison. The galaxy is not a safe place for unmodified Deathworlders. You will find that other species do not welcome your kind. We understand the risks, Jake replied, but we will take our chances. The three aliens left the Terra Nova without another word. Jake, Lisa, and Ben watched their ship fly back to the massive station. None of them spoke for several minutes. Finally, Lisa broke the silence. Captain, I think we just made our first enemies in the galaxy. Jake nodded. Maybe, but we also learned something important. We are not like other species. We're stronger than they think, and that might be exactly what the galaxy needs. Ben smiled grimly. Let them underestimate us. Humans have always done better when people think we cannot succeed. Jake looked out at the alien station and all the strange ships flying around it. Somewhere out there was a galaxy full of species who thought humans were too dangerous to exist. They were about to learn that being underestimated was the first mistake you could make with Deathworlders. The Terra Nova turned away from the station and headed deeper into space. Behind them, the aliens were already sending messages about the dangerous species from Earth. But Jake Morrison and his crew were not afraid. They were human, and humans had never backed down from a challenge in their entire history. This was just the beginning. 3 months had passed since the Terra Nova left the Galactic Council station. Captain Jake Morrison and his crew had been exploring empty star systems, mapping planets and taking notes about everything they found. They had not seen any other ships since their meeting with the crystal aliens. Jake was in his quarters, reading reports when the ship's alarm started ringing. He ran to the bridge where Lieutenant Maria Santos was working at her station with a worried look on her face. "Captain, we are picking up a distress signal," Maria said. "It is coming from a ship about 2 hours away at maximum speed." "What kind of ship?" Jake asked as he sat in his captain's chair. "Unknown design. But the message is being broadcast on standard galactic frequencies. Someone is in serious trouble." Jake thought for a moment. The Galactic Council had made it clear that humans were not welcome in civilized space. But he could not ignore people who needed help. Set course for the distress signal. Maximum speed. The Terra Nova turned and began flying toward the source of the signal. As they got closer, their sensors showed them a large alien ship that was badly damaged. Parts of it were torn open, and it was spinning slowly in space. "Captain," said Lisa Park from her science station, "I am reading life signs on that ship, but they are very weak. Whatever happened to them, they do not have much time left." "Are there any other ships in the area?" Jake asked. "No, sir, just us and the damaged vessel." Jake made his decision. "Maria, open a channel to that ship. Lisa, get Dr. Rodriguez and tell her to prepare for wounded aliens. Ben, I want you to get a team ready to board that ship if necessary." Dr. Amy Rodriguez was the Terra Nova's chief medical officer. She was a small woman with gentle hands and a fierce determination to save lives. When the call came, she was already preparing her medical bay for unknown alien patients. The communication channel opened with static and crackling sounds. Then a deep voice came through, speaking in the galactic common language. "This is Captain Thakmer of the Kethmer trading vessel Stonecrusher. We have been attacked by Skarn raiders. Our engines are dead, life support is failing, and I am dying. Please help us." Jake had heard of the Kethmer from the Galactic Council database. They were a warrior race, tall and strong with natural armor on their bodies. They had 4 arms, and were known for their fighting skills. If Kethmer warriors were asking for help, the situation was very bad. "Captain Thakmer, this is Captain Morrison of the human ship Terra Nova. We are coming to help you. Can you tell us about your injuries?" There was a pause. "Human, you are the Deathworlders from Earth. I thought that was just a story. We are real, and we are here to help. What is your condition?" "I have been shot in the chest, and my left arm is broken. My crew of 12 is hurt, some very badly. We cannot repair our ship. The Skarn took our cargo and left us to die." Dr. Rodriguez was listening to the conversation. She turned to Jake. "Captain, I need to see those injuries. Are going to help them. I need to get on that ship as soon as possible." Jake nodded. "Captain Thakmar, we are sending a medical team to your ship. Please prepare to receive us." "You would risk your lives for strangers?" Thakmar's voice sounded surprised. "That is what decent people do," Jake replied. Ben Carter led the rescue team to the Kethmer ship. Dr. Rodriguez brought her medical equipment and 2 assistants. When they entered the alien vessel, they found a scene of destruction. The ship's corridors were filled with smoke, and the lights were flickering. The Kethmer were even bigger than the humans expected. Captain Thakmer was lying on the floor of his bridge, covered in purple blood. He was 7 feet tall, and his body was covered in natural armor that looked like thick scales. His 4 arms were powerful, but one of them was bent at a wrong angle. Dr. Rodriguez knelt beside the alien. Captain and began examining his wounds. "The chest wound is not deep," she said. "It missed all the vital organs. The broken arm looks bad, but the bones are still in place." "Not deep?" Thakmar's voice was weak. "Doctor, that wound is fatal. My people die from such injuries." "Not today," Dr. Rodriguez said firmly. She began cleaning the wound with antiseptic. "Your species has very different biology than humans. What seems fatal to you is just a bad cut to us." As Dr. Rodriguez worked, other human crew members were helping the injured Kethmer throughout the ship. The aliens kept expressing amazement. at human medical techniques. Things that would kill a Kethmer in hours were being treated as minor injuries by the humans. "How can you fix a broken bone?" asked one of the Kethmer crew members as a human medic put a splint on his arm. "Bones heal," the medic replied. "You just need to keep them straight while they grow back together." "Do your bones not heal?" "If a Kethmer breaks a bone, we die. The pain and shock kill us." "How do you survive it?" The human medic smiled. "Human. Children break bones all the time. We have pain medicine and ways to fix the bones. It hurts, but it does not kill us." Dr. Rodriguez finished treating Captain Thokmer and gave him medicine for the pain. The big alien sat up slowly, moving his repaired arm carefully. "I do not understand," Thokmer said. "I should be dead. My wounds were fatal." "Your wounds were serious but not fatal," Dr. Rodriguez explained. "Your species never developed the same healing abilities that humans have. On Earth, if you could not heal from injuries, you would die quickly. Our world taught us to survive damage." Before Thokmar could respond, the ship's alarms began ringing. Maria Santos's voice came over the radio from the Terra Nova. "Captain, we have 3 ships approaching fast. They match the description of Skarn raiders." Jake's voice came back immediately. "All crew, return to the Terra Nova now. We need to be ready to fight." "Wait," Thakmer said, struggling to stand. "Cannot fight 3 Skarn ships. They are heavily armed, and they like to kill." "We will not abandon you," Dr. Rodriguez said. "Can your ship fly?" "No, the engines are destroyed. If you stay to defend us, they will kill us all." Jake's voice came over the radio again. "Ben, get everyone back to our ship. We are going to try something." The rescue team returned to the Terra Nova quickly. As soon as they were aboard, Jake moved their ship between the damaged Kethmer vessel and the approaching raiders. The 3 Skarn ships were sleek and black, covered in weapons. A harsh voice came over the communication system. "Human ship, move away from our prize. That vessel belongs to us now." "The Kethmer are under our protection," Jake replied. "Find your cargo somewhere else." The Skarn commander laughed. "You think one small ship can fight 3 of ours? We have never heard of humans, but we will enjoy killing you, Lieutenant." Commander Ryan Brooks was the Terra Nova's weapons officer. He was a quiet man who had studied every weapon system in the ship's database. "Captain, their ships are fast, but not very heavily armored. If we can hit them precisely, we can disable them without killing the crews." "Do it," Jake ordered. Battle began when the Skarn ships opened fire. The Terra Nova's shields absorbed the attacks while Ryan targeted the enemy engines. His shots were perfect, disabling 2 of the 3 raider ships without causing major damage. The 3rd Skarn ship tried to ram the Terra Nova, but Chief Engineer Katie Walsh had an idea. "Captain, their ship's docking port is the same design as ours. I can board their ship through the airlock." "That is too dangerous," Jake said. "Not for a human," Katie replied. "Their atmosphere will not hurt me, but our atmosphere will make them unconscious. I can take their ship without firing a shot." Jake hesitated, then nodded. "Do it, but be careful." Katie put on a spacesuit and flew to the Skarn ship in a small shuttle. The raiders watched in confusion as she connected to their airlock. They had never seen an enemy try to board a ship during battle. When Katie entered the Skarn vessel, she found herself facing 6 alien warriors. They were thin and tall, with gray skin and large eyes. They pointed their weapons at her, but Katie was not afraid. "Your life support system is broken," she said calmly. "If you do not fix it, you will all die in about an hour." The Skarn commander hissed at her. "You are lying, human. I'm an engineer. I can fix it for you, or you can die here." Katie walked past the armed aliens and began working on their environmental controls. The Skarn were too surprised to stop. Within minutes, Katie had repaired their life support and improved their air quality. The Skarn crew began breathing easier, but they were still pointing weapons at her. "Why did you help us?" the commander asked. "Because you needed help," Katie said. "That is what humans do." The Skarn commander looked at his crew, then back at Katie. "You are not what we expected from a warrior race." "We are not warriors," Katie replied. We are explorers. But we will fight to protect people who cannot protect themselves, the Scarn. Ships left without another word. The Terra Nova crew helped repair the Kethmer vessel enough to fly to a safe port. Captain Thakmer was amazed by his recovery and by what he had seen humans do. Your people are not like any species I've ever met, Thakmer said to Jake before they parted ways. The galaxy thinks Deathworlders are dangerous killers. But you are dangerous in a different way. You're dangerous because you refuse to let others die. Jake smiled. That is the nicest thing anyone has ever said about humans. As the Terra Nova continued its journey, the crew did not know that their actions had started something important. 2 weeks after the Kethmer rescue, the Terra Nova received an urgent message from the Galactic Council. Captain Jake Morrison read the message twice before calling his senior officers to the bridge. The Council wants to meet with us at a place called Terminus 7, Jake told his crew. They say it is for an official evaluation of humanity's place in the galaxy. Dr. Amy Rodriguez frowned. It sounds like they want to test us. That is exactly what they want to do, Jake replied. The message says that several species have complained about human behavior. The Scarn Empire has demanded that we be classified as a threat to galactic peace. Ben Carter laughed. We save their lives and they complain about it. The Council has decided to put us through formal trials, Jake continued. These tests will determine whether humans are safe enough to travel freely in the galaxy. Lisa Park was reading the message on her tablet. Captain, it says here that if we fail the tests, all human ships will be ordered to return to Earth and never leave our solar system again. The bridge was quiet as everyone thought about what that meant. Humanity had dreamed of exploring the stars for centuries. Now that dream might be taken away because other species were afraid of them. We have to take the test, Jake decided. If we refuse, they will assume we are dangerous. But if we pass, they will have to accept us as equals. What kind of tests? Asked Ryan Brooks, the weapons officer. The message does not say, but I can guess. They want to see if we are too aggressive or unpredictable to be trusted. Jake looked at his crew. I need 12 volunteers to come with me to Terminus 7. The rest of you will stay with the ship. Every person on the bridge immediately volunteered. Jake had to choose carefully. Pick people who were smart, calm, and good at working together. Dr. Rodriguez would come as the medical officer. Ben Carter would lead security. Lisa Park would handle science and communication. He chose 9 others from different departments. 3 days later, Terra Nova arrived at Terminus 7. The planet was dark and rocky with no signs of life. In orbit around it was a massive testing facility that looked like a metal city floating. In space, a shuttle arrived to take the 12 humans to the facility. As they flew toward the station, Jake looked out the window and saw ships from many different species. The testing facility was busy with activity. Welcome to Terminus 7, said the shuttle pilot, a being that looked like a large insect with 6 arms. I am Zixa of the Quolec species. We operate this testing facility for the Galactic Council. What exactly will we be tested on? Jake asked. Everything, Zixa replied. Your physical abilities, your mental capacity, your emotional stability, and your social behavior. Most species fail these tests. Those who pass are granted full membership in galactic society. The shuttle docked at the station, and the humans were led to a waiting area. Jake noticed that there were observation windows all around the room. Behind the glass, he could see dozens of different alien species watching them. We have an audience, Dr. Rodriguez whispered. Let them watch, Jake replied. We have nothing to hide. A tall alien with crystal skin entered the room. Jake recognized him as Ambassador Zethkri from their first meeting. The crystal being's colors were a cold blue. Captain Morrison Zethkri said, You have chosen to undergo the trials. I must warn you that these tests are designed to be difficult. Many species have been seriously injured during the evaluation process. We understand the risks, Jake replied. Very well. Your first test will begin in 1 hour. You may use that time to prepare. Zethkri left the room, his crystal body flashing with what looked like satisfaction. The humans spent the hour checking their equipment, talking about what they might face. Jake noticed that the aliens watching them seemed nervous. Some of Then were whispering to each other and pointing at the humans. "They are afraid of us," Lisa observed. "Wait. Look at how they stay far away from the windows." "Good," Ben said. "Let them be afraid. Fear makes people make mistakes." The first test was in a large, dark room with no lights. The humans were told to find their way through a maze to reach the exit. The Quoex observers explained that most species needed artificial light to see, so this test was designed to be nearly impossible. "Begin," announced Zixka over the intercom. The humans walked into the darkness without hesitation. Their eyes adjusted quickly to the low light, and they could see the maze walls clearly. Jake led the team through the twisting passages, using hand signals to communicate silently. In the observation room, the alien watchers were getting excited. They had never seen a species navigate the maze so easily. Most aliens would be stumbling around blindly, but the humans moved like they could see perfectly. "How are they doing that?" asked a Veltar observer. "Deathworlder adaptation," Zethkri replied grimly. Their eyes evolved to hunt in darkness. The humans completed the maze in 12 minutes. The previous record was 43 minutes set by a species known for their excellent vision. The second test was about pain tolerance. Each human was given a device that would cause increasing levels of discomfort. They were told to press a button when the pain became unbearable. Dr. Rodriguez went first. She held the device as it sent electric pulses through her body. The pain increased steadily, but she showed no reaction. The alien observers watched in horror as she endured levels of pain that would make most species unconscious. "This is impossible," whispered one of the Quolex technicians. "She should be screaming." All 12 humans completed the pain test at levels that broke the facility's records. Some of them barely seemed to notice the discomfort. The third test was mental. The humans were given complex problems to solve while loud noises and flashing lights tried to distract them. They had to work as a team to complete puzzles that required both logic and creativity. Sergeant Dan Murphy, who had been chosen for his problem-solving skills, led the team through mathematical equations that most species found impossible. The distractions that were supposed to break their concentration had no effect. "They are not getting distracted at all," observed a Skarn military officer who had come to watch. "How do they maintain focus with all that noise?" "Deathworlders learn to think under pressure," Zethkri explained. "Their world is constantly trying to kill them. They develop the ability to stay calm in dangerous situations." Test after test, the humans performed at levels that amazed and frightened the observers. They showed no fear when faced with dangerous situations. They worked together perfectly, never arguing or fighting among themselves. They solved problems that had stumped other species for hours, but the real shock came during the final test. The humans were told they would be transported to a planet with dangerous conditions. They would have to survive for 72 hours with limited supplies. The test planet had 3 times normal gravity, toxic atmosphere, and predators that had killed members of other species during previous tests. The Qualex expected to document human failure and possibly human deaths. The 12 humans were dropped on the planet's surface with basic survival gear. The first thing they did was find shelter in a cave. Then they began exploring their environment. "Gravity is heavy, but not impossible," Don reported to the team. "We just need to move more carefully. The air is toxic to most species, but our filters are working fine," Lisa added. "We can breathe safely as long as we are careful." Dr. Rodriguez was studying the local plant life. "Some of these plants are edible. We can supplement our food supplies if needed." On the second day, the humans encountered one of the planet's apex predators. It was a large creature with massive claws and teeth, designed to kill anything it met. The alien observers prepared to watch the humans die. Instead, they watched in amazement as Marine Corporal Kelly Santos approached the creature calmly. She had noticed that it was injured and limping. Instead of fighting it, she began treating its wounds. "What is she doing?" asked a Quelex observer. "She is helping it," Zethkri replied, his crystal body flashing with confusion. By the third day, the humans had not only survived, but had made friends with several of the planet's dangerous creatures. They had built a comfortable shelter, found reliable food sources, and established a daily routine. When the test ended, the humans were brought back to the station. The alien observers were silent as they watched the 12 humans walk off the transport ship, looking healthy and relaxed. In all our years of testing, Zixa announced, we have never seen results like this. These humans have broken every record we have. They have passed tests that most species cannot even attempt. Observation room was full of worried whispers. The aliens had expected to prove that humans were too dangerous for civilized society. Instead, they had proven that humans were more capable than any species they had ever encountered. What does this mean for the galaxy? Asked a Veltar representative. Zethkri's crystal body had turned a deep red color. It means we have made a terrible mistake. We thought Deathworlders were dangerous because they were violent and uncontrolled. But these humans are dangerous because they are competent. They can survive anything, adapt to any situation, and solve any problem. They a threat to us? Asked the Skarn officer. Not in the way we expected, Zethkri replied. 1 month after the tests at Terminus 7, Captain Jake Morrison was reading reports in his quarters. When the emergency alarm began ringing throughout the Terra Nova, he ran to the bridge where Lieutenant Maria Santos was staring at her screens. With wide eyes, Captain, we have a big problem, Maria said. I am detecting 300 ships approaching our position. They are all Skarn vessels, and they are in battle formation. Jake felt his stomach drop. 300 ships was a massive fleet, bigger than anything humanity had ever seen. There any other human ships in the area?
Yes, sir,
Maria replied. The New Horizons and the Pathfinder are both within communication range. Captain Sue Palmer and Captain Alex Turner are requesting orders. Jake sat in his captain's chair and thought quickly. 3 human ships against 300 enemy vessels. The odds were impossible, but running away was not an option. If they fled, the Skarn would follow them back to Earth. Open a channel to both human ships, Jake ordered. Try to contact the Skarn fleet. Let us see what they want. The communication. Screen showed Captain Sue Palmer of the New Horizons and Captain Alex Turner of the Pathfinder. Both looked worried but determined. Jake Sue said, My sensors show we are heavily outnumbered. What are our orders? We fight, Jake replied simply. If we run, they will just follow us home. At least here we can choose our battlefield. Understood. Alex said, The Pathfinder is ready for battle. A harsh voice came over the communication system. Jake recognized it as the same Skarn commander they had met during the Kethmer rescue. Human vessels. This is War Commander Skok of the Skarn hegemony. You are ordered to surrender immediately. Your species has been declared a threat to Galactic. Peace. War Commander Skok, Jake replied, we have done nothing to threaten anyone. We are explorers, not conquerors. You are Deathworlders, Skok snarled. Your very existence threatens the stability of civilized space. The Galactic Council refused to act, so we will solve this problem ourselves. You would murder an entire species because you are afraid of us. We will remove a dangerous infection before it spreads. Surrender now, and your deaths will be quick. Jake looked at his crew. Every person on the bridge was ready to fight, even though they all knew the odds. War Commander Skok, you have made a mistake. Humans do not surrender, and we do not die easily. Then you will die hard. All ships attack the Deathworlders. Show them what happens to species that refuse to know their place. The Skarn fleet spread out and began approaching the 3 human ships. Jake opened the communication channel to his fellow captains. Sue, Alex, they have us outnumbered 100 to 1. We need to be smart about this. Ryan, what are our weapons? Look like against their shields. Lieutenant Commander Ryan Brooks checked his readings. Our weapons are more precise than theirs, but they have much stronger shields. We can hurt them, but it will take time. Then we make time, Jake decided. All ships, maximum speed. We stay mobile and pick our targets carefully. Do not try to destroy their ships. Just disable them. Why not destroy them? Sue asked over the radio. Because we are not murderers, Jake replied. We fight to protect ourselves, not to kill. The battle began as the Skarn ships opened fire with everything they had. The 3 human vessels moved, like dancers, avoiding most of the attacks and returning precise shots at enemy engines and weapons. The Skarn expected a short fight. Their commanders had never seen ships move the way the human vessels did. The Terra Nova, New Horizons, and Pathfinder flew through the enemy formation like birds, too fast and agile for the heavy Skarn ships to catch. "How are they moving like that?" demanded War Commander Skok as he watched his fleet struggle to hit the human ships. "They are using the gravity of the nearby moon to increase their speed," his tactical officer reported. "And they are making course changes that should tear their ships apart, but somehow they are staying together. Impossible. No crew can survive those acceleration forces." What the Skarn did not understand was that humans could survive much higher gravitational forces than other species. The crews of the human ships were uncomfortable, but they could handle the stress that would kill most aliens. Ryan Brooks was targeting enemy ships with surgical precision. Instead of trying to destroy them, he was disabling their engines and weapons. "Captain, I've disabled 12 enemy vessels. They're alive but cannot fight. Excellent work. Keep it up." Chief Petty Officer Nick Taylor was leading a boarding party on the New Horizons. When a Skarn ship came too close, he used a shuttle to fly to their vessel and entered through their cargo bay. The Skarn crew was shocked to see a human walking through their ship. They pointed their weapons at him, but Nick was not interested in fighting. "Your environmental system is damaged," Nick told them calmly. "If you do not fix it, your crew will die from carbon dioxide poisoning in about 2 hours. "Why do you tell us this?" asked the Skarn. "Captain, we are enemies." "Because dying from poison gas is a terrible way to die," Nick replied. "I can fix your system in 10 minutes. The Skarn watched in confusion as Nick repaired their life support equipment. They had expected him to kill them or take them prisoner. Instead, he was saving their lives. "You fixed our ship," the Skarn captain said. "Why?" "Because you needed help," Nick replied. "That is what humans do." The battle continued for 6 hours. The human ships were taking damage, but they were still fighting. The Skarn fleet had lost over half their vessels to precise human attacks. But none of their crews had been killed. War Commander Skok was becoming desperate. His fleet was being defeated by 3 small ships, and his superiors would demand. In explanation, he decided to use his secret weapon. "Release the biological agent," Skok ordered. "Kill the Deathworlders with their own biology." The Skarn fired special missiles that released a cloud of engineered bacteria into space. The bacteria was designed to attack the nervous systems of carbon-based life forms. It was supposed to kill any living creature within minutes. Captain Dr. Rodriguez reported from the medical bay, "We are being hit with some kind of biological weapon. The bacteria is entering our air supply." "Are we in danger?" Jake asked. "I am monitoring the crew for symptoms. So far, everyone seems fine." What the Skarn did not know was that humans had incredibly strong immune systems. Living on a death world had forced humanity to develop defenses against every kind of disease and poison. The biological weapon that should have killed them was being destroyed by their natural defenses. After 2 hours, Dr. Rodriguez made her report. "Captain, the bacteria is dead. Our immune systems killed it completely. Some crew members have slight headaches, but that is all." War Commander Skok could not believe what he was seeing. His ultimate weapon had failed completely. The humans were still fighting, still disabling his ships with surgical precision. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, "we have lost 60% of our fleet. The remaining ships are requesting permission to retreat." "No retreat," Skok snarled. "We kill the Deathworlders, or we die trying." That was when Commander Helen Price, who was coordinating strategy for the human fleet, decided to end the battle. She opened a communication channel to all Skarn ships. "Attention Skarn fleet." Helen's voice was calm but firm. "You have attacked us without cause. You have tried to murder us with poison. You have lost most of your ships, but we have not killed a single member of your crews." Skarn fleet stopped firing, surprised by this communication. "We did not come to your galaxy to conquer anyone," Helen continued. "We came to explore and learn. But you have forced us to fight, and now you have learned something important about humans." "What is that?" War Commander Skok asked. "We are not the monsters you think we are. We could have destroyed your entire fleet in the first hour of this battle. We could have killed every member of your crews. But we chose not to, because that is not who we are." Helen paused, then continued. "You call us Deathworlders because you think we love death, but you are wrong. We are called Deathworlders because we refuse to die. We have survived everything our world could throw at us, and we will survive everything you can throw at us too." "Think you have one?" Skok demanded. "We have already won," Helen replied. "We have proven that we are stronger than you, smarter than you, and more merciful than you. You came here to destroy us because you were afraid, and you know that your fear was justified." The remaining Skarn ships began to retreat. War Commander Skok's flagship was the last to leave. Limping away with damaged engines, as the enemy fleet disappeared into space, Jake Morrison looked around his bridge. His crew was tired, but uninjured. The 3 human ships had faced impossible odds and won, Captain Maria Santos reported. "We are receiving messages from all over the galaxy. News of the battle is spreading fast." "What kind of messages?" "Some species are congratulating us. Others are demanding that we be stopped before we conquer them too. But most of them just want to know who we really are." Jake smiled tiredly. "Tell them we are humans. We do not conquer, we do not enslave, and we do not murder. But we also do not run away, we do not surrender, and we do not die easily." And the Skarn War was over, but its effects would be felt throughout the galaxy. 6 months after the Skarn War ended, Ambassador Carol Wright stood in the main conference room of the Galactic Council Station. She was the first human to be given the title of ambassador, and she was about to address representatives from over 200 alien species. Carol was a small woman with gray hair and kind eyes, but she had served as a diplomat on Earth for 30 years. She knew how to talk to people who were afraid, and right now, most of the galaxy was very afraid of humanity. "Honored representatives," Carol began, "I stand before you today, not as a conqueror, but as a friend. Humanity seeks only peace and cooperation with all species in the galaxy." The conference room was filled with nervous whispers. The crystal-skinned Veltar representative raised one of his forearms. "Ambassador Wright, your species has demonstrated military capabilities that far exceed our own. How can we trust that you will not use these abilities against us?" Carol smiled gently. "Representative Zethkri, humans have had the ability to destroy each other for hundreds of years. We chose not to. We have had nuclear weapons that could kill millions, but we learned to control them. Power without wisdom is dangerous, but humans have learned wisdom through suffering." A tall Kethmer warrior stood up. It was Captain Thakmer, who had been saved by human doctors months earlier. "I have seen humans in battle and in peace. They are the only species I know that grows stronger by helping others instead of conquering them." "That is exactly what frightens us," said a representative from the Quolex species. "Your people do not follow the normal patterns of behavior. Strong species dominate weak ones. That is the natural order." "Perhaps," Carol replied, "but humans learned long ago that the natural order is not always the best order. We changed ourselves to be better than our nature." Before anyone could respond, alarms began ringing throughout the station. A Veltar technician looked up from his control panel with panic in his crystalline features. "Emergency medical situation in Sector 7, he announced. "The Veltar research vessel has been contaminated with a biological agent. All crew members are dying." The conference room erupted in worried voices. The Veltar were one of the oldest species in the galaxy, known for their advanced technology and peaceful nature. If they were in trouble, it was serious. "What kind of biological agent?" Carol asked. "Unknown pathogen," the technician replied. "It is attacking their immune systems. Our best doctors estimate they have less than 6 hours before total system failure." Zethkri's crystal body flashed red with distress. "There is nothing we can do. Our medical technology cannot fight unknown diseases quickly enough." "Maybe yours cannot," Carol said. "But human medicine was developed on a world where new diseases appeared constantly." "May I contact our medical ship? You have doctors here?" Zethkri asked. "The human hospital ship Mercy arrived yesterday. Dr. Peter Kim and his team specialize in treating unknown illnesses. The Galactic Council had no choice. Within an hour, Dr. Kim and his medical team were aboard the infected Veltar ship. The human doctors worked in an environment that would have killed most alien medical personnel, breathing filtered air and working with diseases that had never been seen before. Dr. Kim was a quiet man who had spent his career fighting epidemics. On Earth, he studied the alien disease under his microscope and began developing treatments. The Veltar physiology was completely different from human biology, but disease was disease. The pathogen is designed to attack crystalline cellular structures, Dr. Kim reported to the waiting council. It is very sophisticated, probably artificial. Someone created this as a weapon. Can you cure it? Zethkri asked desperately.
I
Think so, but I need to understand Veltar biology better. Can you send me all your medical files? The Veltar had never shared their medical knowledge with other species. It was considered too dangerous. But with their people dying, they had no choice. Dr. Kim worked for 18 hours straight, developing treatments and testing them on tissue samples. Human medicine used a combination of natural and synthetic compounds, fighting disease with controlled aggression. The Veltar approach was more gentle, but it was too slow for this crisis. I have 3 possible treatments, Dr. Kim announced, but I need to test them on actual patients. The risk is that I might make them worse. Do it, Zethkri said immediately. Without treatment, they will die anyway. The first treatment worked partially, the second treatment worked better. The third treatment stopped the disease completely and began reversing the damage. Within 6 hours, all the Veltar crew members were recovering. But the real surprise came when Dr. Kim made his final report to the council. This disease was not natural. Someone engineered it specifically to kill Veltar. It was designed to spread through your crystal-based biology and kill your entire species. The conference room was silent. Someone had tried to commit genocide against one of the galaxy's oldest civilizations. Who would do such a thing? Asked a representative from the hegemony of Skarn. We traced the pathogen's genetic markers, Dr. Kim replied. It was created by a group calling themselves the Purifiers. They believe that only certain species deserve to exist in the galaxy. Carol Wright stood up. The Purifiers have been sending messages throughout the galaxy claiming that Deathworlders and other impure species should be eliminated. They tried to start with the Veltar because they thought no one could save them. But humans saved us, Zethkri said, his crystal body glowing with gratitude. Your doctors did what our own medicine could not do. As what we do, Carol replied. Humans have spent thousands of years fighting disease, famine, and death. We learned to save lives because our world was constantly trying to take them. Over the following weeks, the Purifiers attacked other species with biological weapons, but each time human doctors were able to develop treatments. The galaxy watched in amazement as the Deathworlders used their knowledge of survival to protect. Everyone else, Captain Jake Morrison, found himself appointed to the Galactic Defense Council, not as a conqueror, but as a protector. His job was to help other species understand how to defend themselves without becoming monsters. The galaxy has been peaceful for so long that most species forgot how to fight, Jake explained to a group of military leaders. But peace is not the absence of conflict. Peace is the ability to resolve conflict without destroying each other. The Terra Nova became the flagship of a new kind of fleet. Ships from dozens of species flew together, learning from human tactics and teaching humans about their own technologies. The Kethmer provided warriors, the Veltar contributed advanced electronics, and the humans offered leadership and medical support. When the Purifiers finally revealed themselves, they found a galaxy that was ready for them. Their fleet of stolen and modified ships faced not just human vessels, but a combined force representing every major species. The battle was short and decisive. The Purifiers had expected to face the same weak, divided species they had been attacking. Instead, they encountered a united galaxy that had learned from the Deathworlders how to fight effectively while still maintaining their values, Captain. Instead of executing them, the galaxy chose to imprison them and study their motivations. Even in victory, the influence of human mercy was evident. The aftermath of the Purifier War changed everything. The Galactic Council officially recognized that strength and compassion were not opposites. They created new laws based on human principles. The strong had a duty to protect the weak, and all species had the right to exist and grow. Ambassador Carol Wright was elected as the first non-founding member of the Council's governing board. Her first act was to establish the Galactic Medical Corps, staffed primarily by human doctors but open to all species willing to learn. Dr. Amy Rodriguez, who had started the whole journey by saving Kethmer lives, became the director of the new Xenological Medical Institute. Her mission was to teach alien doctors how to treat diseases and injuries that would have been impossible to cure. Before humans arrived, the galaxy learned that Deathworlders were not called that because they brought death, but because they refused to accept it. Every human adaptation that had seemed terrifying to other species was actually a tool for preserving life. Years later, when new species were discovered, they were taught about the great rule that now governed galactic civilization: never underestimate Deathworlders. But more importantly, never fear them. They are not your enemies unless you make them so, and they are the best friends you could ever have. Captain Jake Morrison, now Admiral Morrison, often stood on the bridge of the Terra Nova and looked out at the mixed fleets that patrolled the galaxy. Human ships flew alongside vessels from every known species. Protecting trade routes and exploring new worlds together, the galaxy had learned that there were many kinds of strength. The Kethmer had the strength of warriors, the Veltar had the strength of knowledge, and the Quoex had the strength of organization. But humans had something different: the strength to endure anything and still choose kindness. The rule was now written in the founding documents of the new Galactic Alliance. The measure of a civilization is not its ability to destroy its enemies, but its willingness to save its friends.